Well, one of the things that I love to help people do is to figure out how they can break through their own mental blocks. And don't think that you have escaped having any of these, because they happen for everyone. And we accumulate them as we go. Many of our mental blocks come from childhood, from that person that said something to you, your parent, your teacher, your pastor, your coach, those things that got in your head. Now, this is the thing that forms a mental block. And it keeps us small. It keeps us thinking there's certain things we can't do. And what we're kind of doing is we're jumping to the next level of what you introduced to us, Teresa. And we're going to implement today. We're going to really put some action into some techniques that you can do immediately to know how to break through your own mental blocks. Would that be okay with you? Yes, awesome. So I'm going to ask you to really step out of your comfort zone today, because as a hypnotist, it definitely requires you to be in a different state of mind. Because as Einstein said, you cannot address the next level unless you change the way you view it from a different state of mind. And so we're going to do that. We're going to shift you today so that you can view yourself from a different state of mind. How fabulous is that? Yes? All right, so we're going to start off with a visionary technique. This is the foundation. We all have visions in our mind, don't we? Everybody right now, visualize an apple. All right, and this is interactive. Tell me what color your apple is. Red. What color is your apple? Yellow. Interesting. What color is your apple? Red and yellow. Here we go. The creatives. What color is your apple? Green. Orange. Okay, so we all just had a vision of one particular thing, and there was many variations, yes? This is what happens for all of us. We are all absolutely unique, and our vision is unique. And so we can utilize and leverage our vision to follow our true path. Now, what gets in the way is we also have visions that are negative. Would you agree? One of the most negative visions that I had in my way, and it's really the reason that I am here today, and so therefore I'm thankful for it, even though it totally sucked. I'm thankful for it because it's what caused me to find my career path, and it's what completely changed me. So that vision is of when I was about 15, 16, and I'm in my bedroom, and my mom and I are going at it. We always had a tumultuous relationship. My mom and I were very different people. Anybody can relate with that? Yes? She had one viewpoint of the world, and I had a totally different one. I was more of the rebellious side. My mom was more of the churchgoer, and so I was like, don't want any of that. And my mom felt the same way about me. So we had this very tumultuous relationship, and one day, I don't remember what I was doing, like stealing her car or something probably, because that is how I learned how to drive, by the way. I was 14 and stealing her car and learning how to stop at a four-way stop by, okay, who goes next? Right? And you're trying to figure that out because I don't know. I didn't go to any classes yet because I was stealing the car. Anyway, that was kind of the rebel that I was. So this day, we're having a meltdown. We're having a big fight. And she points her finger at me and she says, and I don't want to point at anybody. Let's put her here, okay? Here's Mom. She's here. Because this would be mean to actually point at someone. Here's Mom, and she's mad at me, and she's looking right into my eyes, and she points and she goes, "You will never amount to anything." I have that vision. Ooh, I get a shaky just thinking about it. I have that vision in my mind of my mom. And our parents are those people that we put on a pedestal. They're supposed to take care of us, right? And we get everything from them, and so we give them so much. And it's amazing because they're just people. They got mistakes going. They're trying to figure it out too. But as kids, we don't always view them like that. They're supposed to know everything. Isn't it amazing, just a little side note, that even when our parents do mess up really bad, we always forgive them because we just always love them unconditionally. We just always really want to have that connection with them. Sometimes we have to learn to put boundaries with that, but that's always there. And so it created for me what I would describe to you all as an inner conflict. Have you ever wrestled down an inner conflict? Takes a while sometimes, doesn't it? It's not very fun either, and it stops us from where we want to go. So me being over here all rebellious, and I'm like, I got this. I want to go like take over the world. But then there was that stop sign. No, you're not. And I let that be a barrier in my mind for a number of years, and man, it screwed me up. And it's not so much her fault. She was in fear. She loved me. She viewed what I was doing as making the wrong decisions. So honestly, she didn't really mean it, but I didn't take it like that at the time. And so we make meaning of things. And I made meaning of what she said to be true. So often we live by our untrue truths. And so I invite you today to get vulnerable with yourself. And not just today, but forever, every day after this, because there is nothing greater than knowing thyself. So be an explorer of your own truth. Dig around in there. As a hypnotist, I know that my job is to learn what's in your subconscious mind. Because a lot of times you're hiding from it. Your subconscious mind is this big mysterious place, and you're like, we don't want to go there, because it's like a can of worms, right? You get afraid to open that up. But I'm telling you, that is where you're going to find your gold. That is where you are going to find the key to what makes your life purposeful. It's all right there. And our subconscious mind is so important that we have a relationship with it and we know how to manage it. Because if you are not managing your subconscious mind, it will manage you. And how many of us have felt out of control? Are you ready to get in control? Yeah, baby, right? Well, you know, it's really interesting because in order to do that, you've got to have a bigger vision for your life. And I know you all do already, just like that apple popped into your mind. Your vision is already in your mind. But maybe you've been a little scared, a little chicken to go after it. And what's that big thing that we get stuck on? I don't know how. I'm here to tell you that your vision matters. And it matters because when you go after it, you will completely change the world. And it will be your world, which is a huge influence on other people. And so you've got to go make that mark and create the vision. So our very first technique is how to get out of your own head. Are you guys ready for this? Put your feet flat on the floor, separate your hands, rest them loosely on your lap. This is how I begin every single show. I was just in Alaska for a month on Norwegian Cruise Lines, doing shows and seminars, teaching people about the power of their mind, power of their subconscious mind. And the beautiful thing is, in order to tap into your subconscious mind, you have to be 1, willing, 2, creative. So those people that just had their inner critic say, oh, I have no creativity whatsoever. Gotta let that rest. Tell it to shut up, because that's not true. You just pictured that apple, didn't you? You did. I know you did. You had the vision of the apple. So that means you can leverage your creative mind. Now, how to get out of your own head? We've got to stop the thinking, the cognitive thinking. This thinking over here in the front of our minds that just brrr, no. We got to step back into our vast creative mind. So what I'm going to ask you to do is I'm going to ask you to just follow along in this technique so that you can learn how to tap into your creative mind. I'm going to hand you some imaginary objects in a moment. What did I just say? Imaginary, exactly. So if you go, oh, I couldn't really picture myself holding that. Guess what? You're being way too analytical about this. You've got to tap into your imagination. Einstein said, do y'all believe what Einstein says? I mean, he's a pretty smart guy, right? So we can know this is truth. Einstein said, is to know is nothing at all, but to imagine is everything. Guess how your vision got in there? All right, so are we ready for this then? Okay, so everybody close down your eyes, take in a deep breath. All the way in, breathe in deeply. Fill your lungs with air completely. Then just let that breath out. Drop your shoulders, relax. Don't worry, I'm not going to hypnotize you. You are going to learn how to hypnotize yourself. So this is teamwork, you and I doing this together. Nobody can come into your mind and control you because you are in complete control of your mind at all times. So we're going to listen to the sound of my voice, and I want you to follow along to the suggestions that I give you. I ask you now to just put your hands straight out in front of you with your eyes closed. Flip your right palm over towards the ceiling. The right palm only. There you go. And I want you to stretch your arms straight out in front of you. There you go. Very good. And with your eyes closed, take in another deep breath all the way in. Breathe in deeply. And in a moment, I'm going to hand you these imaginary objects. And in the left hand, on a count of 3, I want you to grasp in the left hand. 1, 2, and 3. 150 or so helium balloon strings. I want you to hold on to those helium balloons and imagine, visualize, and think about helium balloons being in your left hand, and you're holding on to all the strings attached to those helium balloons. And I want you to imagine that you're outside and there's a nice soft wind, a breeze going by, and you really just got to grasp onto those balloons, and those balloons are lifting and rising, rising and lifting, lifting and rising, rising and lifting. And just notice how fun it is to just let them lift and rise. You've got a hold of them, but begins to lift your arm all the way higher and higher and higher. And just imagine, visualize, and think about being a spirited kid holding on to all those balloons as if it could just make you fly and float. You could hold on to those balloons. Picture yourself as if you just have those balloons, and the balloons are lifting and rising, pulling your arm all the way towards the sky. And just let those balloons continue to float with the breeze. And as those balloons continue to float with the breeze in the right hand, simultaneously, I'm going to put an imaginary 1, 2, and 3 stack of encyclopedias in that right hand. And man, this is a good workout. Those encyclopedias are very, very, very heavy. They're so heavy, so very heavy that you can't hardly hold them up any longer, and your arm's starting to atrophy. It's getting weaker. It's getting falling down towards your lap. It's getting heavier and heavier and heavier. Now imagine it's the truth that these balloons are lifting higher and these books are getting heavier. And if it's the truth to you, let your imaginary completely and totally be involved in that experience as if it's a complete truth, and allow your arms to go far, 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 far apart. And now I want you to just simply open your eyes and keep your arms just like they are. And just notice that. You made something physically happen from your own vision. These are our visionaries. Everybody give yourselves a round of applause. Now, did anybody think of a problem that you have in your life during that process? You didn't, did you? Your mind went somewhere else. It was focused on the creative objects that I was asking you to encompass. So what I want you to know, that this is scientifically proven. Your mind makes things happen in your body all the time. When you are feeling stressed because that project is due, or you got to get that sales letter out, or you've got to launch a program, and you've got all this responsibility, what happens in your body when you are feeling stressed? You feel sick in your stomach? What? Yeah, throw it out there. Come on, let me hear you. Tense shoulders. What else? Back pain. Fatigue. Irritable. Oh, got lots of these, right? Y'all really connected to that. So what you've made happen is your mind is so focused on the stress that your body is manifesting that stress. You can do the opposite as well. Your mind and body are so connected like that you can instantly bring feel-good feelings by using creativity. Creativity. So I want everybody right now to just quickly close your eyes once again. And I want you to take in a deep breath all the way in, breathing in deeply. And when you exhale, drop your shoulders. Good. And I want you to imagine, visualize, and feel the color of relaxation. Feel the color of relaxation. And notice that color of relaxation, and I want you to imagine that it has motion to it, like a wave of soothing, easing relaxation. And I want you to let that wave of relaxation move all the way down your spine, loosening every vertebrae, and sending that wave, that color with your vivid imagination. Imagine that color in all its beautiful glory. And allow that color to bring a feeling. What is the feeling of relaxation? It feels good, doesn't it? Send that feeling all the way down, 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 down your spine. Down into your hips, through your legs, and into your toes. That color of relaxation. And with every deep breath you take, that color finds its way into all parts of your body, relaxing completely. And then I want you to slowly come on back with me and bring that color of relaxation as a picture, a vision in your mind, and bring it back with you. And you can open your eyes. Some of you don't want to open your eyes, I can tell. Like, I'm liking this. All right, so what's your color of relaxation? Blue. What's your color, Teresa? Blue, of course it is. Is it aqua? What is your color? Purple and yellow. Was it swirling? Sometimes people get swirling. What was your color? Purple and white swirling. He's got swirl. Anybody got sparkles? Sometimes people have sparkles. Okay, so what I'm teaching you is mind hacks, all right? You can get out of your head at any time because your head is actually a vast, beautiful place. You've got to give it more credit than you're giving it. When you're in your creativity, you are 100% connected to your subconscious mind. And your subconscious mind is where you want to be. Why? Because that is where all your fuel happens from. Your subconscious mind is that part of you that puts that vision out there. The other part that's so amazingly important is it's where all of your emotions and habits lie. Now, to be a really amazing entrepreneur, we must have good habits. We must have good habits. If we're not disciplined with our habits, we're going to be all over the place because we have free time, don't we? We get to decide our schedule, which is why we became entrepreneurs in the first place. We want to be the boss, so that means we've got to be the boss of our schedule. We got to be the boss of our habits. So what habits do you have right now that got to go? That aren't getting you the sales that you want to get? That aren't getting you the time management that you want to have so that you know you're actually getting things done? Maybe you're prioritizing. You have certain habits that I'm inviting you to take a look at. Right? Be honest with yourself. Like I asked you, be vulnerable. Take a look inside. Now, the thing that's so amazing about your subconscious mind is it does not judge you. That is what your conscious mind does. It's the one that judges. Your subconscious mind just believes you. So are you telling it the right stuff? Are you telling it the right stuff? That's the next little mindset hack we're going to do, because I have an amazing technique that will completely shift the way that you talk to yourself. But first, I got to tell you this. This morning when I parked here in La Jolla, I remember 4 years ago from this very week, on a night about, it was on a Saturday night, I was running through La Jolla by myself. And I remember I looked around this morning when I parked and I was like, oh my gosh, I haven't really been back to this place. I was running all by myself, and I was running on a 56-mile training run. I was training for an ultramarathon that was 75 miles around Lake Tahoe at night. And so I knew that if I was ever going to be able to actually pull that off, that I was going to have to train in the right way to get me there. So what I did was I had my family, I lived in Escondido at the time, I had my family drop me off down in Liberty Station. And let me tell you, knowing that my family was dropping me off and I was going to see them sometime when I found my way back to Escondido on my own feet, that gave me a lot of nervous feelings, right? So let me tell you what I learned real quick. I learned how to talk to my visionary mind. because that is when the moment counts. So I want you to think about, I'll tell you a little bit more about that story, but I want you to think about some of your big goals, and you got that vision of how you're going to accomplish it, but there's a whole lot of just one foot after the other. And with that effort in creating those habits, you've got to be able to talk to your mind in the right way. And so as I was putting one foot after the other, I think I was around mile 25, a marathon-ish here in La Jolla. And then I went up and over Torrey Hills, which was a pain in the butt, down across, and when I got to the AM PM at Carmel Valley Road, I don't know if any of you know that, I laid down in the grass because it felt so good, and it was like mile 42 in the middle of the night at 3 a.m., and I laid down there, and it was wet because the sprinklers had been on. I was like, oh my God, this feels so good. My legs felt like tree trunks at that time. And all of a sudden, I heard the voice. Get up! I had to get up off that grass. But I wasn't going to get up right then. I was going to sink into that grass and fall asleep like a homeless person, for sure. Like someone's going to find me in the morning. I'm like, ah, right? But I knew I needed to get up. I had to keep moving. And that's what you got to do. You got to keep moving. Don't let your mind get you stuck. Retrain it. Talk to it the right way. So as the story goes, I showed up in Escondido at 7:11 a.m. They had dropped me off at 8:30 p.m. in Liberty Station. I ran 56 miles all the way home at night by myself. I felt like an Angelina Jolie character. One of the reasons is I had a blade on each side. My husband, right before I left, he was like, you might need to take this with you. He knew where I was going to be. We'd figured out the route. I was safe. But at the same time, like, I wouldn't know how to actually use that blade if something happened. And it was a little scary. But that taught me so much about, like, training for what you want to accomplish. Because it really, sometimes it's not that glorious. The glorious moment happens at the end. You're like, yeah, I made it! Woo! On my own 2 feet. But there's lots of mundane moments. Just like in business. Right? There's a lot of mundane moments, and you just got to keep following your feet, following your feet. Have the vision. Talk to yourself in the right way. So how many of you believe in writing out affirmations with your goals? Yes, almost all of you. Okay. I'm about to change your life. Are you ready? How much time do we have left? Is it time to wrap up after this? Okay, I'm about to change your life. I want you to get out your phones because I want you to open the notes part, and I want you to write this down because you're going to use it forever for the rest of your life. Affirmations. Do you feel like they work? Do you feel like, what if it's a vision or a goal that you're trying to achieve and you don't have any like tangibles that say, yeah, this is true for you, this can happen? What if you have all that doubt? Do you still believe your affirmation? Oh, you guys are so lying. No, you don't. Oh my gosh, I work with a lot of women that want to lose weight, and I teach them mindset techniques to be able to get in their head so they can change their identity and how they believe about themselves so that they can dial in their nutrition. And guess what? When they look in the mirror and they say, maybe they have 50 pounds to lose, and they go, I am at my natural and ideal weight, and they're not, guess what happens? Bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. Like, that should actually be in the affirmation, right? I am at my natural ideal weight. Bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. It doesn't work. I'm sorry. It doesn't work. You guys are all agreeing that they work? I don't think they do. I think they do if you already have some sort of belief. But man, if you've got, like, if you don't have the belief but you have the vision, we've got to build a bridge, right? We got to mind hack this stuff. We got to get to where we can just start to believe ourselves. When we believe ourselves, that's when the fuel happens. It's amazing because your subconscious mind loves emotion. Your subconscious mind loves repetition, habits. Your subconscious mind loves vision. And when all those are together, you just made stuff happen. So here we go. Bridge phrases. Are you ready? There's 3. Write them down. I am choosing is the first one. I am learning is the second one. What'd she say? Woohoo! Train them young. The third one is I am in the process of. I am in the process of. Okay, so now let's revisit that weight loss example, okay? So she's standing in the mirror, she's got 50 pounds to lose, and she's mind hacking herself. And now she says, I am learning to be my natural and ideal weight. Can she believe herself? Yes. We got a yes, folks. This is a good thing. We want to get a yes to our subconscious mind. We want our subconscious to believe us because we're giving it the command. Your conscious mind gives the commands. Your conscious mind writes out the goals. Your subconscious mind just is like ordering it up. Okay, let's do that. Repetition, repetition, repetition. So now it's saying, yes, okay, let's do that. I am learning to be my natural and ideal weight. The second one, I am choosing to be my natural and ideal weight. Notice how you might feel then when you go to your next meal, the choices that you might make. I am learning to be, or I'm choosing to be my natural and ideal weight. How does that make you feel now? Empowered, maybe? Yeah. This is what we're talking about, is being an empowered, we're not going to just leave the men out, empowered person here today, learning how to get our mind to follow the program. You get to create the program, and then your mind follows it. Right now, you might have programming that is in disalignment with what you think the plan is. So you got to get it into gear. So I want you to think about one of your particular goals that you have put into affirmation form, and I want you to use one of those phrases and notice how it shifts or changes. Does somebody want to shout out one of theirs? Who's willing to be a little vulnerable? Who has a money goal? Woo! We love money goals, right? Money goals are good, especially if they're meaningful. What's your money goal? Yes. I am making $500,000 per year in passive income. That's awesome. So how can you hack that and put it in one of those bridge phrases to make it even more true in the present sense? Yeah. That's beautiful. I'm choosing to make progress. I am learning to make $500,000 per year. I think that one totally resonates with me because I love to go and learn from all the people that are already making $500,000 a year, right? Because you're learning, you are opening yourself up not to be in the same old programs, but to be a new one. You've got to be able to step over your belief, yeah? Okay, so one last, before we close. Are we good with that? Okay, this is another brilliant mind hack. I have no idea what that says. 20 minutes more? Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Okay, love this. All right, so you guys ready for the next one? Okay, I feel like you guys are falling asleep on me. Are you ready for the next one? Okay, I think that we need to do something. Everybody stand up. Oh yeah, everybody stand up, and on the count of 3, everybody is going to find a way around the room, go like a switch around because you got to get energy moving in your body, and as you go by the person, please don't run into them, give them a high five, and we're going to do like 15 seconds, okay? Oh yeah, he's going to play some music, this is good. This is called the Rowdy Roundup. The Rowdy Roundup. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Move around the room. High five somebody. High five somebody. Woo! You got this. You got this. The Rowdy Roundup, folks. And then you can find your way back to your chair. Everybody's energized. Woo! All right, come back to your chairs. Now y'all are socializing. Come on back. Bunch of social bees. It's important to be a social person when you're in business. All right, now you're all energized. Whew. Are you guys ready for the next mindset technique? Yes? Oh, now you're listening. Okay, good, very good. I love that you got your body moving. You know, one of the reasons that I love to exercise is it happens to have the byproduct of fitting into your clothes, which is always good. But that is so not why I exercise. I learned about 20 years ago, because I used to be a chronic dieter. I would like gain and lose about 40 pounds. And then that's part of why I became a hypnotist, because I wanted to figure my stuff out. Not only did I have that vision of my mom pointing her finger at me, but I came from a really dysfunctional family. And I knew that if I had any chance, any small chance of success, I was going to have to reframe my mind from what I had learned from my very dysfunctional family. So let me tell you the reason why I ran that 56 miles. Why would anyone do such a thing? Why would you do that? And 75, that was what it ended up with a couple months after, well, I think it's about a month after the 56-mile run. The reason that I signed up for that thing is because I was pissed off. I was pissed. And I can say it with a jokingly laugh now, because I laugh at like how pissed I actually was. And this is what happened. My mom went into the hospital with diverticulitis. She was obese and depressed. And she said to me, about 2 weeks before she passed, two really interesting things. The first one blew my mind, because I wrote a book about mindset techniques with your nutrition. And my mom said to me, I go, Mom, I'm visiting her, and she goes, she had eaten her lunch, and the only thing she ate for lunch was the apple pie that was on her hospital tray, and all the other healthy food was still there. And I said, Mom, and I'm all frustrated. Of course, my coach came out, which I'm sure she hated, and I was like, Mom, come on, like, you didn't eat any of the good food. That's why you're in this position. Ooh, sting. Ooh, so judgy, right? They said to her, you ate the apple pie, you didn't eat any of the salad, the good stuff. And you know what she said to me? My very Christian, straight-laced mom that I never heard cuss or ever tell me anything about sex. She said, Deanna, when you haven't had sex in 27 years, apple pie tastes really good. My mouth dropped to the floor for two reasons. One, I couldn't believe my mom just said the word sex, because she didn't even tell me about sex when I needed to know about sex. And the second thing is, she's young enough, it's going to go right over her head, it's all good. The second thing was, she just finally told me why she overeats. Whoa, I had been trying to figure that one out for the longest time. I had given her my book, she knew all about what I'm doing out in the world, and she was like, resistant. We get so resistant in our mind, don't we? Why? When it's to your benefit. But man, you know what she did? She created a formula. When I eat this, I feel this. But how sad is that? Because it's sad for a couple of reasons. One, because all the times that I was trying to get her to eat healthy, what was I actually taking away from her? It really wasn't about the sex. It was more about intimacy, right? And feeling loved. My mom was a really closed-off person. She wasn't very warm. She didn't say I love you until I forced her to when I was 22 years old. So I grew up needing that love, right? And my mom needed it too, but she couldn't reach out. So I learned to change that thing. Because I love everybody. I love y'all. I love y'all. I love you. Love you. Seriously, like you do have to step out and get your needs met. Your real needs. Because food's never going to do that for you. Neither will money. Neither will the wrong men, right? So many different things. So I want you to just open your mind up to think about that we make things mean something that they don't. And so when she, in the hospital, told me that, the next thing she said after that, I go, well, Mom, you know, you just can't give up. Because, I mean, you have grandkids. I was the daughter that gave her kids. And she says, you know what, honey, I'm not giving up. I've already given up. Another mind blown, right? Boom! Who is this woman? And why is she doing this? It actually pissed me off. Because I just don't think that's like a thing. Like, you don't give up. You don't give up. Winston Churchill said, never, ever, ever. Hello. I love that we're all in the same tribe, right? This is the never give up people. Yeah. And so it bummed me out to hear that she was giving up. And that is what made me run 56 miles. I was like, oh, no, you didn't. I'm going to prove that you don't. And it made me want to start training. And I also started training because I knew I could either be really unhealthy because I was quite distraught that my mom had passed. Even though we had so much tumultuous years together, I was really, really sad. Because it was that whole idea of like, oh, I'll never have the mom that I really wanted. But the cool thing is, mom that I really wanted is in my mother-in-law, is in my clients, is in my people I meet. I see it everywhere. And so what I want you to take away from this is that it's not just about the goals that you have. It's about the meaning underneath them that matters. That is your fuel. And where does that fuel come from? Your subconscious mind. You've got to manage that stuff. So dig around in there. Find your fuel. Here's a great quote from you, for you. Where there is no meaning, there is no purpose. And where there is no purpose, there is no motivation. That's something that came to me while I was running. And I was like, ooh, I got to write that down. Because it's the truth. We've got to have fuel. We've got to have emotion underneath our goals. So here is my final mind technique for you. Keep your phone handy or your pen and pencils, paper, because you're going to want to write this down. But right now you can put it down and put your hand on your heart. Get connected. Put your feet flat on the floor. Assume the position of meditation relaxation. So what I want you to do is with your hand on your heart, we think of our heart as a symbol, don't we? A symbol of life, a symbol of love. And the truth is that you're breathing this oxygen right now. So that means you are ready for the next step. So with your hand on your heart, I want you to close down your eyes, and I want you to take a deep breath. Get connected. Breathe in deeply, and then let that breath out. Let your shoulders relax with your hand remaining on your heart. Let your hips support you. Taking another deep breath all the way in, and this time I want you to hold it at the top for a few seconds. This is Navy SEAL breathing, by the way. And then you let that breath out after you hold. That really changes your physiological presence. And so as you take in those deep breaths and you connect with your hand on your heart, I want you to allow yourself to just open up your mind and be open to all the resources that are available in your subconscious mind. And you don't have to know how to do that. I'm going to walk you through it. But I want you to right now, as you breathe in deeply and exhale completely, I want you to allow yourself to visualize, imagine, and just simply feel this next question that I give you. I'm going to give you a question and you're going to answer it. And just notice what pops up. I want you to release the need to analyze. Release the need to judge. Just feel. This is what's important. So I want you to answer this question. What have my struggles from the past taught me what I value the most now? What have my struggles from the past taught me about what I value the most now? I want you to allow some of the things that just come up in your mind and get emotionally connected to them. Allow yourself to feel them and just notice how moved you become by thinking about that. How have your struggles of the past taught you what you value most now? And then when you're ready, I want you to open your eyes and I want you to write those down. I'll give you about 15 more seconds. And you can always continue this later. That was emotional for some of you, wasn't it? See some tears coming in. That's good. We're supposed to feel, especially when it fuels you, because they're good things, aren't they? Oh my gosh, do they not make you feel alive just thinking about them and reading them? So are you guys ready to put all of this together with a new plan for your life? Yes? Okay, so what we've talked about today is how to get connected to your emotions so that it fuels a purpose behind a goal, right? So what I want you to do is go home and you can create what I call the daily ambitions for intentional living. We all have some sort of morning ritual that we do, right? And we all know it's important because everybody tells us on the internet it's important. Gotta have a morning ritual. Every success seminar we go to, gotta have a morning ritual. And then we take their blueprints and we gotta do it. Okay, you gotta do what works for you, first of all. But we know that the subconscious mind loves repetition. And we do know that what we're really trying to accomplish is to get our whole mind wrapped around a new vision, right? A new goal of where we want to go. So we've got to leverage the power of our subconscious mind. So it's a beautiful thing to do this on a repeated basis. So what you're going to do is you're going to take those values that you just wrote down and you're going to write them in affirmation form using the bridge words that I gave you, and you are going to put them mixed in with your goals. So the goals don't matter if they don't have legs, right? And the legs are the emotions. So the emotion is the value that you just wrote down. That's the emotional stuff that makes you feel alive, right? Yes, that's why I'm doing this. I really value myself. I really value why I'm doing this. We all need to have our big why, but this is you putting the emotional piece in. So we all get the steps. So you take your values, you unite them with your goals, and you write them in affirmation form using the bridge phrases. Make sense? Woo, let me tell you, wake up in the morning, read that. Man, it's no longer just a linear, boring goal. We write our goals down, and then we write them down. We use our conscious, cognitive mind. They mean nothing. They need to mean something, right? They need to mean something, and writing them out in this way will make them mean something. Now, if you want to take it to the next level, if you're an audible type person, all of you have some kind of voice memo in your phone. Read them into your phone, record your own voice saying them, and play it back. Talk about a mind hack. And you'll connect with it because it's all your own stuff. It's not anybody else's. And you put the bridge words in so you can actually believe yourself. Yay! I got to tell you in closing, there's this amazing client that I have, and I want to tell you about her story. Her name's Jaylene Welch. And she joined my program because her sister was in it, and it was one of my weight loss programs. And she said, if I could just get under 200 pounds, I'd be good. So she didn't really come into the program thinking, yes, I'm going to do this big thing. Well, she weighed 228 at the start, and she figured if she could just get under 200, and any of us women that have either been there ourselves or around women that are working on this, they have this big thing they say about Wonderland. When you get under 200, you're in Wonderland. Have you guys ever heard that before? And so a lot of the ladies that I've coached are like, if I could just make it to Wonderland, woo! They're so excited. And so that was her goal, if I could just make it to Wonderland. And mind you, she had done tons of diets before, every diet in the world. She even had her jaws wired shut at one point. Yeah. This particular woman, she's busy, I'll make sure, but she's not listening. This particular woman, Jaylene, she had been molested by her father for 7 years of her childhood. And so when she came into my program, that came up. And that was a huge area of just feeling safe. We had to break down all those walls, and hypnosis does that. Big part of that was to reprogram her mind that she is safe, that she's loved in the right way, that she can be more than she ever thought she could be. She felt pretty worthless. And so she started to program her mind, and she said that the confidence CD that's on my audio system, she goes, I swear I'd listen to that audio and it would make me feel taller, like I actually grew 2 inches after listening to it. And she goes, I noticed I would make eye contact with people from just listening to the hypnosis stuff in my mind over and over and over again. Well, what she ended up accomplishing was in 13 months, without a diet, without any bars or shakes, she lost 105 pounds. Not only did she lose 105 pounds, she also then, once she lost that weight, decided to get out of an abusive marriage. Then she also quit her dead-end job that she had had for 16 years, and she ended up getting a job where she doubled her income. Like, talk about transformation, right? All from just shifting her mindset on how she viewed herself. So if Jaylene can do that, what can you all do? What can you all do? It's amazing, right? You just get your mindset in the right place. So how many of you feel like what you learned today is valuable? By a round of applause. Yeah? Good. Awesome.